Hello and welcome to environment.com YouTube channel. And in this video, we will discuss about object-oriented ABAP class visibility sections. So this is going to be a very important video if you are not aware of the visibility sections available in object-oriented ABAP class, or if you have any confusions related to that. So all those things will be discussed in detail in this video. So let's get started. Now, first thing is that how many visibility sections are available in ABAP class? So there are basically three visibility sections. You have the public section, you have the protected section, and you have the private section. So these are the three visibility sections available. Now, by default, there is no default visibility section in ABAP class. So you have to declare your components under any one of the three visibility sections. That is public, protected, and private. Then, so this point I have already discussed that all components of the class will belong to one of the three visibility sections. Then you have to define the visibility section in the sequence. So you have to follow the same sequence. You have to define a public section, and then after the public section, you can define the protected section, and after the protected section, you can define the private section. So you have to follow this sequence, else you will get syntax error. So let us check the syntax of visibility section. So you can define your class name followed by the keyword definition, and then the public section, all the components under the public section, then the protected section, all components under the protected section, and then the private section and all components under the private section. And you have to follow this same sequence. Second thing is that it's not mandatory that you must have all the three sections defined inside the class. It's not mandatory. So whatever is the requirement, based on that, you can define the visibility sections. All right, so let's understand few more points related to visibility sections. Only components under public section can be accessed from outside the class. Now, what does that mean? We will understand this with the help of an example, but for the time being, let's understand this one-liner that only components under public section can be accessed from outside the class. Next, components under protected section cannot be accessed from outside class, right? So what does that mean? We will understand that again with the help of an example. But just a point over here is that protected section is similar to private section, and thus it is not publicly available. So you cannot access them from outside the class. Now, protected section can be accessed from within the class as well as in methods of the subclass. So this point is also quite important, and we will discuss about it. And finally, private section components cannot be accessed from outside the class, as well as it is not available to inheritors of the class. So again, if you are creating a subclass of a parent class, and whatever components is defined under the private section, those components will not be available to the child class. Whereas in a protected section, the components you have defined under the protected section, those components will be made available to the child class, and the public section can be accessed from outside the class, which means that it is available publicly. So these are the three visibility sections. Now let us try to understand this concept with the help of an example. So here in this example, we have created a class. Now this is my class definition, and then this is my class implementation part. So this is my parent class. So this is my parent class, and this parent class has three sections over here: public section, protected section, and a private section. And there are three methods under each of these sections: M1, M2, and M3. Now, first thing that we notice here, that when we are implementing these methods, then we get access to all the three methods in each of the methods implementation, So this basically indicates that all components belonging to any of the section will be available within the class. So within the class, we can access any of the components, whether it is a public section component or whether it is a protected section component or whether it is a private section component. So everything is available. Now you should not call the method same method within the method itself, because this kind of method will be called as a recurring method and you can end up in an infinite loop. So you should not call like this, but the point over here is that all the methods are available within the class. Fine. Now let us switch to the subclass. Now in the subclass, again, I'm following the same concept, that is, I have a subclass which is inheriting from the parent class LCL. And this subclass also has three methods, M4, M5, and M6, defined under the public section, protected section, and the private section. Fine. The point we understand here is that under these methods, in the implementation of these methods, we can access all the methods, that is M4, M5, and F6, which is defined under the subclass. So this is pretty obvious. But we can also access the methods M1 and M2, which belongs to the parent class. And among this M1 and M2, M1 is the public section method, whereas M2 is the protected section method. So this indicates that in a child class, you can access the components of the public section as well as the protected section of the parent class. Plus, you can also access all the methods or all the components that belongs to any of the visibility section in the class definition of the child class itself. So if we scroll down all the way down, then these are the points I have discussed. That is, in superclass, we see that we can access all methods of the class inside a method, indicating that all components under public, protected, or private are available within the class. Then in the subclass, we notice that we can access components under public and protected section of the parent class inside the child class method. Thus, all components under public and protected section of parent class are available to the components of the child class. And finally, we will discuss about these 2 points. So for that, let me switch to my system. Now over here, if you notice, we have created 2 objects. So create object LO, which is type ref to the parent class, and create object LO sub, which is type ref to the child class. Now if I test this, then we see here that with this object, I can access, so with the parent class object, I can access only the method M1. So which indicates that with the parent class object or with the object itself, you can only access public section components. And let us see what we can access with the child class object. So over here, I noticed that we can access M1 and M4. Now, M1 basically is the method belonging to the parent class, and M4 is the method belonging to the child class, and both the methods M1 and M4 are public section methods. So again, indicating that from outside the class, that is by creating an object, we can only access components that belongs to the public section. So if a child class inherits the components of the parent class, so with the help of the object, we can only access the components of the public section of the parent class by the child class object. So this was a detailed discussion about visibility sections in ABAP, and that's all in this video. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, then please subscribe and hit the bell icon.